what we're trying to do, we're getting lined up. I don't know how well you can see this screen, but that's some steak bed. And of course crappie, they live inside there, and what we're going to do, we're going to get lined up just right and get over the top of them and fish in them. I see some fish that's down in there, but we're about to get lined up just right. On this screen, you'll see my bait go down. You can see it dropping right here. All right, now I'm right in the middle of them. Finally talk one into biting. Oh, it's a good blackfish. It's a black species crappie. Put him in the ice box for supper. Without having this LiveScope, I would have probably already left, but I mean, I can see the fish in the bed. It's just, you got to get them to bite. We started fishing, you know, we had a depth finder, showed the depth back in the old day. That little guy here. Back in the old days, you know, we just had a flasher. Just basically all it told was how deep it was. But, you know, who would ever thought that you would be able to sit here, watch your bait go down, count how many steaks is in a mat or a crappie bed, and how many fish is swimming in it, and know when the fish is coming to bite your bait. You know, it's just totally amazing, the electronics that are available today for fishermen. You know, and they're not that hard. I mean, they come set up out of the box. It takes some time spent on the water to figure them out, see what you're looking at. You know, you can't put them on one day and come out the next day and expect to know everything that you're seeing, because it's not black and white. I mean, it takes a little bit of studying and a little bit of ciphering to figure out what's going on down there. And you don't have to have a lot of expensive electronics. I mean, there's guys come out here with a cork and a jig and catch as many as anybody else. But we had to have them as far as traveling crappie tournaments, because we go to lakes we ain't never been on. So, you know, we had to be able to find structure. Crappie are structure-oriented fish. I mean, they're going to be around a stump or, you know, a brush pile or something just about all the time. So, you know, when we go to different lakes, we use our electronics to find that type structure, some kind of structure in whatever depth it seems to be that time of the year. Summertime's gonna be a little bit better fish there. Black crappie tend to seem to want to stay around these hard surfaces, where you see a lot more white crappie seems like in soft bottom. When you're fishing these beds, I mean, I've learned so much watching this LiveScope. You know, you don't have to move your rod tip over 1/4 of an inch, and you're moving that bait a huge amount, and you want a natural presentation. So, you know, pay attention to what you're doing. If you're moving your rod tip 3 or 4 inches, you're moving it too much. Now, if you're fishing in these steak beds and you're moving it up and down, trying to get a reaction bite, that's one thing. But, you know, as far as like just jigging, what people call jigging, just barely move your rod tip, because it's moving your jig a whole lot down in that brush. You know, we first pulled up here, when I went over this with the side scan, I mean, I could see there was fish in this bed, and you know, we had to fish for them just a little bit before we got them fired up. And black crappie seem like are more oriented toward that than a white crappie. When you get in a school of black crappie, they're a lot easier to spook, for one thing, but it seems like when you get them biting, you can catch several of them. And another thing, watching that electronics, that Garmin LiveScope, I mean, it's live what's going on right now down there. And these fish come and go out of these beds. I mean, sometimes there's several in it, you go over it and you won't hardly see nothing. But like just a few minutes ago, they all congregated up in there from somewhere. I mean, there was a bunch in there, and they all got like following my bait, like it was competing for it, but nobody ever committed. If you got kids at home that like to play video games and you want them to be fishing, get you one of these. It's better than any video game you'll ever play, I promise. Because it's live. Real fish, real bait, real poles.